Bantu abahle, welcome to yet another awesome episode of eKhaya Conversations. This episode is proudly brought to you by eKhaya, a women's cooperative that specializes in audiovisual, creative administrative support, and project management. So if you are in need of these services, kindly contact them on 073 8455 724, or you can simply email them at ekhaya@outlook.com, or you can send them an inbox on Facebook at eKhaya Women's Cooperative. If you like anything about what we are bringing on this podcast, kindly hit the subscribe button and notification button so that ungaphosana intoni na that we are bringing on this platform. Anyways, please do enjoy the rest of the show. Diabulela kakhulu. Molweni bantu abahle. Igama lam ndinguvuyiseka Maguga, also known as Love Child, and these are eKhaya Conversations right here on eKhaya Sessions. Today we have the awesome Sonwabiso Nompunga.
Yeah.
Ubel, Kubon.
That's me.
Umaf.
Langa
lokulunga, not just Ilanga. He's a gentleman that I think a lot of us have seen you around. But as but we are impact, but like every time you are in that circle, there's always like consequences, and when you are absent from that specific circle, like okay, but and so today we are going to be speaking about placement within the arts. I think art in the tata as I don't know deco where but okay, this chair has to be here. This banner has to be here because sensor some picture itintin. So if beslapa phansi ibingazobonakala umsebenzi waso kakuhle. So I think it's very important for people to know where do they fit in everything that abayenzayo. So I wanted to ukuvezela nje sibaxhobisa abantu, and I thought, you know what, Sonwabiso would be perfect, and thank you for ukuvuma to do this, and you can relax kusekhaya apha.
Yeah.
So let's do this. So what is it that you do, and I think how did you find yourself? But okay, art is your thing, but not necessarily ngoshobo like a lot of us discoverisha ngayo. For instance, I know I can sing. I might have had to learn how to perform, how to play guitar, how to do this, how to do that. But when it comes to people that are non-artists but abasebenza within the art space, how did you find Bone? But okay, you know what? This is my thing.
Growing up, I've always been umntana that is inquisitive, very curious. So from bugeleni TV and watching, I'm from watching television and listening to radio. I've always, abantu bavelaphi, and how can I get in there?
Yeah.
Because ndizibona ndipha TV or but over the years, with self-discovery, I found out where I fit in. Actually, I've got Sis Gloria Bosman to actually thank for that, because all my life I've been surrounded by musicians, artists. I even tried out singing myself, going through auditions. And
Really?
trying to get into the space, but I was very young, trying to find my feet
Yes.
at Johannesburg. And man, yeah, one day Gloria started a casting and modeling agency, and yeah, she gave me my first break, she gave me my first job, she gave me insights about the industry to say, we always see you around us, but what can you do? And yeah, she enlightened me with, this is a whole eco system, music and the arts. Art is very broad. We're surrounded by art. Colors that we see are art. The sense in which we dress, it's art. So, and andibone indlela to fully express myself, but through the arts. So I had to position myself and find myself, where do I fit in? And yeah, man, I started in, what was it, 2001 or 2002, somewhere there.
So it's over 20 years.
Yeah, it's over 20 years. We're actually speaking about this with Asanda, because yeah, we had a little bit of a session before coming here. Trying to recollect some of, Kanenes Tibenenini, when did we start?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was way back 2001, 2002, up to date.
So what is it that you do around the art space?
There's a vast of things that I actually do, from publicity to artist management, road management. I wear so many hats. I'm an administrator as well. There's a lot that I do. Sometimes I don't even like boxing myself and saying, I'm an administrator or manager, because I don't like to be attached too much to titles. There's more to it than being attached to titles.
I like that, because I also believe, but as people, we are different layers. Yabona, as ukula, you discover, okay, this is what I love. This is what, for instance, when I was 10, I saw witnessed in a TV, and I think my performer up at FNB just before Ngogumande Besando.
Oh yes, and that's coming out in the form of a movie.
Yeah, I saw that, and so when I saw her, I remember that day I was wearing a blue dress, and when I saw her, I was like, one day I'm gonna be that. And so I went to school, and a primary. So when I went to high school, I figured high school, and I keep okay, fine. So I focused on other things, academics and sport. And later in the years, umculo comes knocking kwakhona, and I answered the call, because it was something that is familiar. It's not something that was foreign. Yeah. And so when I answered the call, I got in, and every tool that I have got from the day I said to myself, but one day I'm gonna be there. In the end, I didn't know, but I needed sports so that in the be active, so that when I market my show, I have to wear a walking billboard and the walk more than 6 kilometers in Grahamstown trying to market my show. And that is because I didn't have someone that's gonna do that for me. And so this is like, I'm trying to show indlela these people abasenzele izinto ababaluleke ngalo, because I think a lot of artists, they I don't know, should I say they fail in their artistry because a strong support system around them. A lot of artists, for ba ubona Beyonce Eva, and it's not just her.
No, definitely not her. It's a whole team. I could think of Beyonce. You speaking about Beyonce right now. She probably got 100 people working behind, to make a product. Beyonce. Beyonce is not only just the talent. She's more than
the talent.
The talent, as you say, it's band. We've got different layers. And it's always good not to actually limit yourself. You need to find yourself. It's like with hierarchy of needs, right at the top is self-actualization and self-realization. So we need to actually actualize our full potential. Uzazi about what you're good at and you won't know that if you haven't, tried different things.
Yes.
And we learn until scissors yofa. So we never stop learning, and we should never box ourselves.
I like
sometimes that. But because, environments esikhula kuzo, sometimes it says lalini, you understand, and nobody's done it. But you can be
the first.
Yeah. You can be the first. Elalini yakho, you can be the first in your township, and uThixo usithanda sisebenzise italente zethu. God has given us so many talents. We've got to use our talents. That's what's pleasing to God. He's very pleased with us if singabe sisebenzise italente zethu.
Yeah. Yeah, self-realization and the importance of self-awareness, where one recognizes their strengths and their weaknesses. In the music industry, I think people like Orobi Malinga, Utatu Robi could have been the Michael Jackson of each and every song that he wrote, each and every song that he produced. But I think him in realizing, but his strong points, it's in actually writing music and producing, and kuzopuma these beautiful artists, or Zahara or Kelly Kumal, and we have like I think the album Gazahara Uloliwe is like, even today I don't even skip a single song Fan Mamela album, because the production is one of top notch. So how important is self awareness when it comes to this industry that we are in?
I just had a moment. You actually speaking about them because ngabantu abangasekho. But you know what? Bawushila umzila.
Yeah.
Umsebenzi wabo, you're able to revisit lo msebenzi lobo and appreciate italente zabo. In as much as we don't celebrate them that much once they basekhona, they're walking around our midst. But once they're gone, you actually realize, you would say, these people actually had an impact in our lives.
Yeah.
And she told us this so many times. She is called. Many are called, but few are chosen. You know, she's lived her life purposely so, because she served what she's been called here to do. And we're left with those memories. It's very important to actually be aware of who you are. Before you go and represent yourself in front of the audience and stuff.
Yeah.
So, artist, you have to uzazi man, uziqonde, uzidle, because kudingeka confidence when you go on stage. But it's all. I always tell artists that I get the opportunity to work around. It's not about talent. Talent alone is not enough.
Not enough.
It's about the attitude. It's about the relationships. This industry is based on relationships more than anything else. So ungacula uyele, but if you haven't got the passion, to sell yourself, the zeal to perform, and, the energy, that's what people feed off, because energy transfers, and that's what the power of art is.
Yeah. So I think one, like the artists needs, like musicians, you don't get. There are people that have out there, like Fumas Bahejo, but they're not in the front. They can't stand on stage because they're lacking in all of these things. Okanye, it's someone recognizing, you know what, his strong point is being right behind, so that this person push in the yakhe, because without them the song wouldn't sound nice if bangabana ako backing vocalist itile. So I think it's important that we recognize, we become self-aware that, okay, this is my strong point, this is my weak point. Because you find yabona around, you find mhlawumbi in hip hop there's a guy who is a dope producer, but who is ufuna rapper.
They want to be in the limelight.
And it was you can, it's not it, and it's because about, and then unomona, they don't put as much umsebenzi on other people's project, and this is business for them. They can live off one land. So what are some of the roles that you have occupied in the art space?
As I've said previously, I've managed artists.
Okay.
I've done PR for artists. road management to personal assistant. So there's a lot. As I say, it changes from day to day. Today I'm an administrator. Tomorrow in Sistratweni, handing out flyers, pushing a show or an event, or I'm running around to make things happen prior to a show, organizing rehearsals and that type of thing. So yeah, it really depends on the requirement. What's required of me? Then I look at the expertise and nazo. If an artist Italian phone like, hey, so I'm coming to PE. I need a road manager. I offer my services in that sense. Go so yan phone they need a media release. I'm an administrator. Yeah, well, so it's very difficult to actually box myself. I just call myself a freelancer. And I'm not attached too much on the title of being a manager.
And that's because I think you have given yourself a chance to reveal more of yourself, more of these different things, more of what you can do. Because I think I like to make the example that ethanda ukwenziwa ngabefundisi ba singumzimba, ngenye imini ulishiya, ngenye imini uyingqiniba, ngenye imini ulidolo, ngenye imini you are imilenze. And I think it's very important for us as artists to understand this whole thing idinga like all of these different aspects.
It's
yeah, because I think when we started Ilenduka eKhaya sessions, saying, okay, you know what, let's give artists opportunities, and we said, look, don't worry about everything else. Just I want you to focus on the music. Focus on yourself. Focus on if you're doing anything, I'm gonna music direct the songs. I'm gonna produce the show. I'm gonna market the and I'm gonna organize like everything. And so when they started the whole thing besienza, some of them, they came to me, no, can't show, no. So I'd give them a list and a price that is attached to each and every service, and they'll be like, so this is how much it costs to go to eKhaya session.
People don't get it
every single
week.
They
don't understand. They think booth and you start recording Sasa or famous. It takes a lot. There's pre-recording, there's recording, there's post-production, and all of these stages of production, they need finance. Who finances? It doesn't fall off from the sky.
Yeah,
it needs moolah.
Yeah. So, what do you think are the essential skills for one to asebenze as a supporting role in the art space?
I think reading skills.
Okay.
Listening skills. Writing skills.
I like that you are mentioning stuff that you need a PR degree, you need a business management, what, but you're mentioning, isn't it that I think...
You start with what you have.
Yeah.
So we've all got those senses. Our
can
ears,
hear.
But sisebenza njani to be able to, If uzawusebenza ne-artist no music, you've got to have an ear for the music.
Definitely.
Because uzawufumanisa ukuba kuyarekhodwa, you've got to have an input. Bangoku isounda njani, what direction can we take? You've got to have an input. You're there to support the artist. So all of these skills got to be sharpened. And these skills that we got from school, and we never part ways with them because we read every day, we write each and every other day, and we listen because we're talking. And mamela is a skill, you know. So,
as cliche as that may sound, but listening is a skill. Yeah. Staying true to, because we live in a digital world. Because you've been here for 22 years, I'm to say. So back then there was no Facebook.
No WhatsApp.
TikTok.
No iTunes.
No. Now it's digital. Like everything is digital. Like it's all about the numbers. Yeah, but so how do you stay true to yourself and also not making sure ba awushiyeki ngamva when it comes to, because we live in a progressive world. So how do you stay true to your art and also yabona ungashiyeki in these things?
I stay true in the sense that this is all about storytelling.
Yeah.
So it's got to be authentic. Whether you're telling a movie, you're writing a song, you're performing, you're telling a story. So you're a storyteller. So you've got to stay true to your story, and every story begins at home. I suppose to say eKhaya.
Yeah. Bantu abahle, we are proud to announce that eKhaya Siyakha Ngokugcisa has partnered with the Legacy Queen brand for their annual Spelling Bee competition, which will be held at the NMU North Campus Auditorium on the 2nd of November from 9 a.m. up until 5 p.m. Amatikiti ayafumaneka at 160. Ungazifumana zonke inkcukacha on this number. Kodwa ke okwangoku you can continue watching the show. Diyabulela kakhulu.
Yeah, everybody's got a story, and every story begins at home. Think about it.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about your story up until the point where you've started? Now you're telling us your story, where you've started. You know, it started in church. It was. We've got to find inspiration somewhere. You know, and that is the meaning of the artistry, or the meaning of being an artist, is that people find inspiration in you through your work, in the way that you dress, in the way that you write. And there's so many people that actually inspire me because of, you know, how they express themselves. Yeah. Art is a form of expression. It's who we are. It's exactly that, a form of expression. So wonke umuntu uyafuna ukuziexpressa, you know, but abanye abantu they suppress, they can't. It's something that they need to learn to appreciate themselves, to celebrate themselves more, so that they can be able to tell their stories. As in stories, they're not being told, because people died with their stories because people do not have the confidence to tell their stories. It doesn't matter it is your story, you know. Song is Pila, we're telling our stories in our own little different ways. Every day we're turning a new page, a new leaf on life. That's why they say you can rewrite your story. So you can try today and fail, but you can, you know, because every day you're turning on a new page. You know, why are you here? So many are gone. You know, COVID came, COVID went. People die in accidents, car accidents, most especially artists, because artists are vulnerable. There's drugs. You know, we're always on the road, traveling from one city to another. But you've been saved through grace, Ulapa, having this interview with me, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah. So having worked with so many artists, what are some of isn't really common that you found about artists? And also in the same breath, what are some of misconceptions about working with Ilinduka artist?
That artists are difficult to work with.
A misconception, it's a common thing, okay?
It's a misconception. So, you know, there are always two sides to the story.
Yes.
You understand? Artists might get a backlash because they didn't show up for a festival. You know? Comes out on Sunday, would say, my cat didn't show up for a certain gig. She owes such and such a promoter. So, but not understanding. My cat was not paid on time. Sometimes Umakazi was only paid 50% deposit, and probably she's waiting at the airport for the rest of her money before she performs, you know. So, yeah, I think that's a misconception.
And then isn't there a common?
Vulnerability.
Okay.
Artists are very vulnerable to an extent where they are taken advantage of, Gakulu, and they're exploited. Because in most instances, abantu babuya from previously disadvantaged backgrounds, and they try and make it into Johannesburg, bazame ke to launch their careers and stuff like that. Umntu ufakwe studio, they get excited, they record a whole album without signing split sheets and that type of thing. And now umculo blows up and they're crying foul ukuthi they're not earning any money from that. And yeah, man, all that glitters isn't gold. So it's quite important for artists to educate themselves. There are organizations such as Stambro, by a website and a portal. You can learn about the music business. You can take short courses. You can attend workshops. There's a lot that you can do to acquire information before actually going in, because it's a dog eats dog industry. So kusasa, you don't want to cry foul in the Guti, you've been exploited. It's also good to go with a good head on your shoulders and be able to make decisions and stand your ground.
Yeah. So like I hear you mentioning Joburg when every now and then.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think back then Wongumtu was like,
yeah, we had to.
Ne?
We had to. I remember Dala, when we used to go, we made so much contact. I remember like how I met to MXO. Would meet a Lankin, what do you call this? A training at down station in PE, because that was one of the most popular form of transportation to go to Johannesburg, and it was so cheap. It was 125. So you would know, but if you're traveling to Johannesburg, you're bound to. Yes, most training from one platform to another. And power recognizes power. So it's like one artist. So that's how some collaborations and some songs and relationships were formed. Zifonia's training.
Hey man, so talking about misconceptions and the Lenduk isn't as common that artists have. I think as people that are art lovers, and also as people that are working with artists, how can we make it better? Because I don't think I've recently on Facebook that I was on my way to Mtata, so dimamele ukwaka kamandis, and I realized the whole time I was listening to that song, I was smiling and laughing because and ndakumbula there was ixesha where I listened to the song and ndisiva kabuhlungu, and but I learned mandithi cwaka, and I kept on praying bawo khandipha amandla mandithi cwaka ndibajonge, and knowing very well the foul things that were being said about me out there, and ndibe ndingakhange ndenze mntu into irongo, but I was just trying to help another generation of ilenduka artist, and
knowing what the challenges were.
Exactly, because I walked the road. And so I think I've always been like this. Even nalape endlini, I don't have kids that are biologically only mine, but I am raising kids.
Yeah, you're pouring from your cup.
Yeah, I understand. And the thing is this, I learned, okay, my father was not there, and I told myself, akakumdana ozaba in my circle, ozawudinga and like I've utito wandipha amandla nyani to make sure I work hard and ndikwazi provide for all of these people, and even in the art space yes. I don't know why am I so emotional.
Yeah, you've got to be, because there's we're human beings. I mean, like, it's part of our journey, in as much as our journeys are difficult, and but we find solace in the music, hence being a creator, man, being in the arts, it's the most godliest thing. That's the closest thing to God, because God is a creator. So you become an extension of, and you give from what you have. You understand? So that you God can pour into your cup and your cup can overflow. So in as much as sometimes you give and give and give and give and it feels like people don't appreciate you, don't stop. In fact, you continue, because whatever is thrown our way, it's not meant to change us.
Yes.
You know, it shouldn't change who you are. You love child. You know, we are a manifestation of our names. You know, that's what I always tell people. Sonwabiso Nompunga, and I know. Ndiyazazi uba ndiyonwabisa. Do you get what I mean? Ndizalwa nginomathamsanqa, ndiyazi uba ndithamsanqelekile. Ndizalwa ngilungile, ndiyazi uba ndilungile. Do you know? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. You know, people will curse you, they'll throw stones at you, but they will never take away what God has given you. You know, God has given you what He's given you for a reason and for a time, and you should never question God. Serve this. It's all about serving. Serve your 10,000 hours. Give back, because it's about giving back in any case. Because you can never receive. Blessed is the hand that gives
more
than the one that receives. You know? So God knows everything. Everything that you're doing, God knows. And Uthixo is providing for you. Do you know sometimes it says, all your needs shall, now I feel like I'm preaching. It says, all of your needs shall be provided according to His promises and according to His riches. Do you understand? So you'll never lack anything. Sometimes you get out of situations not knowing, and it is the good deed that you did for the next person. It's like your heart says, it says, do good, do good, do good. Listen to your heart and listen to your spirit, because we're spiritual beings. And this thing, you art, it's a calling, it's spiritual. You understand? That's why you have to be spiritually inclined, so that you can make the right decision, you can make the right connections, so that into yakho kwazi upopa. Do you understand? As what happened to Zahara's story, we know that Zahara was basking in the streets of East London. But one moment in 2012, Zahara was a household name. 10 years, 12 years later, Zahara is no more. But that should teach us as a person in Doyoguti, you're here for a reason and for a season. So you've got to serve your purpose. I can't do than to live ubomu that you're not called to do. You understand? That's the most frustrating thing. You understand? I've tried working in the corporate space. I've worked for banks. I've worked for telephone companies, Vodacom, British Telecom, and all of those. But my calling was here because I could do the job and not be paid, but still be fulfilled.
Oh.
Do you understand? Because it's what I'm called to do. It's fulfilling to me. It gives me inspiration to wake up in the morning, you know, the good thoughts, the good ideas. Because awukum sebenzi that is exciting and than working in the arts, because yonke is about the art. Everything is about sound. Everything that we hear, you know, the colors that we see,
the logos,
it's art,
graphics,
logos,
even
art,
the chairs,
it's design. I mean, like the houses, the architect, all of these things, it's all a form of art. So the art makes the world go round. Without art, and it would be a very, very boring place to live in without art. That's why I'm saying, as creatives, we're the most godliest things, because we're an extension of God. We are able to create.
Yeah.
Where do you think a song comes from? Where do you think the melody, the beat, because it's spiritual. That's why you have to be in your own little corner for you to function and be creative, because you need to find inspiration.
Yeah, I don't know why I got so emotional.
I brought you to
but
tears.
Yeah, I think I know.
Yeah, man.
So when it's all for you, when is it? Okay, now this is me. I'm done. I've done my part, and let me give to other people. When is that for?
When I say it's enough,
when you say, "But I've made it, I'm good,"
to like leave the stage.
Yeah, your stage.
There's so many things I still want to, you know. I feel like it's only the beginning. But you know, the only sad part about it is that, you know, you understand good. It's a race, you know, and clear race, you start the race together, but you don't finish the race together, you know. Saying this, I'm thinking of Jessica, you know, who's recently passed. Very close friend of mine, a business associate. We've traveled the world together. I mean, like, she was my support structure. You know, I'm supporting other people. Yeah, now she was supporting me. She had that in her, the sort of motherly instinct, you know, to comfort, to, you know. She was only just a phone call away.
Yeah.
You know. So the only sad part is that journey, you lose people along the way, people that you thought you would grow old together, or you celebrate your successes with them. So it's always a reminder that we lived on borrowed times. You're here today, you're gone tomorrow. So yeah, man, before I make my exit and transcend to the other realm, there's a lot that I still want to do. I'm only turning 40 this year, so
life begins at 40.
Yeah, life begins at 40. With God's grace, I'll live another 40 years. And who's in the scandal with the Petit? Yes. Quincy Jones, your Clive Davis. Yeah.
So your favorite home cooked meal, and why? What does it represent for one?
I love food. I love food, man. There's a lot, but I like to stick to traditional food, African food, because I believe our food, our heritage, our music, our heritage. So I believe ukutya kwetu is part of our heritage, and I celebrate that wherever I go. If I'm in Europe somewhere, I'll be looking for an African shop, looking for umili, or, you know, because I want to cook pap, or look for umngqusho or that type of thing. So yeah, my favorite meal would have to be umngqusho. It reminds me of my mother and how she made it. And in Kumuza Ovilale, on how I grew up, if besibuya emasimini sibuya kukho umngqusho, umngqusho utya nento yonke, utya umhlophe, you know, utya unembotyi, you know, and ungawutya nantoni na, you know, with the salads, with ungawutya uwodwa, une-beef stock, ne-oil. So yeah, umngqusho brings me close to home. Nenyama ke, inyama yangaphakathi, or inyama enkomo, inyama exheliweyo.
Yeah, thank you again for, you made me cry. And I think this is going to be written in the history
of
eKhaya conversations. But thank you so much, man, for
thanks for having
me. Because I think with the eKhaya conversations, we're trying to educate. That's why it's slogan said to city inclusive talks, collective growth.
Yes.
Yabona, so bonga mabantu bayenza isisonga sivuthwe. They need to come and sit here and talk so that we can do better, and kubeko a different generation of Ilindic artists, because I honestly believe Eastern Cape has
so much to offer.
Yeah, we have so much to
that's
offer.
Driving Johannesburg.
Exactly.
Whether it's film or it's entertainment, music, you name it. The vast majority of artists, they come from, we've got the history of jazz that comes from the province. Even when it comes to education, the history of education, first Black University is found in the Eastern Cape. First printers was found in Alice. So there's a whole rich history and heritage that the Eastern Cape needs to celebrate. And thank you for celebrating us, man, and for creating this platform to engage and share our experiences and our expertise with the rest of the upcoming generation. Because we are growing old. We are that generation. Yeah.
Because, man. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for loving this. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting them. Thank you for supporting everything artsy. Until we meet again, please do like and subscribe and don't and tell your family, friends, and everybody and so that subscribe, and then this thing is our cooler. Anyways, sizawutya umngqusho nenyama enkomo. Thank you so much. Until we meet again. Ndiyabulela kakhulu. unongala, unongala.